Hey, it's Jared with State of Tech. Today we're going to talk about the Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra. A lot of words, very big tablet, and the reason that I'm talking about this and I haven't talked about an Android tablet in a while is because I think this is one of the first times that an Android tablet is something to talk about really in the last several years. The S8 Ultra is as close to a laptop replacement that runs Android and still has Android-esque features. I haven't seen anything like this in a while. I think Samsung really has done a good job of bringing together a lot of the things that they do and distilling them down into what's important and putting them into a tablet that actually has features that make sense for a person on the go. So this is the S8 Ultra. It's the large end of the tablets that they have available. You can see I have it here outfitted with the keyboard case that is a two-piece case, and so it attaches down on the bottom. We'll go through this later, and then it also has a portion on the back side here that is a kickstand and also hides access to your S Pen and protects that from getting lost, which is hugely important because S Pens can get lost easily because they're just magnetic attachments. So let me talk about what we're looking at here. This does not typically look like an Android tablet. What you're seeing right here looks more like a laptop, and that's because of Samsung DeX. Samsung DeX, if you have not experienced it before, is a layer of software that runs within Android and the experience that Samsung has put together, like the launcher, and it gives you more of a laptop experience. It's actually available on Samsung phones as well, like the Galaxy phones. The Note has had Samsung DeX for a while. And if you attach a computer monitor to your phone and then attach both a keyboard and a mouse via Bluetooth to your phone, you can experience DeX and use your phone like it's a laptop or like it's a desktop computer, depending on how you have things configured. So what Samsung has done here is they took an Android tablet that really is a very nice piece of technology that they created, and they added a keyboard and they added DeX to this experience, and that makes for a really good experience in the form of a tablet here that can be used like a laptop. So we have a fully functioning keyboard with function buttons. It's backlit. It has quick launch buttons up here. I'll talk these through here a little bit more in a second. But what's great about this is that it works very much like a laptop. I'm going to do a comparison to the iPad Pro for those of you who are wondering, how does this compare to the experience of an iPad Pro? That's a conversation for a separate video. So make sure to subscribe to the channel so you get notified when that one comes out. But let me walk you through what DeX is here. It's just like Android, but in a more accessible view for this type of environment with a keyboard and a trackpad. I can still access all of my apps by tapping on the app icon right there. I can also access my apps by tapping on the command button and then swiping through my apps, so very easy to get to apps. You can exit DeX right here. Will actually take you back to the traditional Android experience. We also have our apps, open apps, and we can switch between those open apps. We have a home button, and then we have a back button down there. Now down below in the center, we have quick launch icons that take us back to apps that we had recently opened. Of course, we can go to our multitask view here and see other apps that we've had open, but that can be kind of a slow process for getting between apps, and this makes it really nice and easy just to switch between apps. Now, speaking of apps and how apps are available, when you open up an app for the first time, it's going to open in this windowed view, which is kind of neat. It doesn't have to be full screen. It can be windowed, and I can click and drag and move this window all around. I can drag it over to the left, and you can see it's going to snap it to the left half of the screen, and I could do the same thing on the right, or I could even slide this up to the top and go full screen with it, which of course with Adobe Lightroom is probably the way that I would want to use Adobe Lightroom. So very cool that I can do that. that. I can use Adobe Lightroom to edit photos. I actually really enjoy the experience of editing photos that I've captured on Adobe Lightroom on this device, because both with the trackpad, it's a great experience just in making adjustments to you know, things like exposure and stuff like that, dragging these sliders around, but also utilizing the S Pen to make finer, minute changes that are tricky to use the trackpad. It's a great experience. Of course, the display here is absolutely beautiful. Very nice detail, high resolution display. Samsung is always known for their best in class, and they have always brought good displays to their tablets as well. So I can click on the home button here just to go back to the apps, or of course I can click home to go all the way back. And there are quick launch buttons down here as well. It takes a little bit of used to these keyboard functions, because on the keyboard there are quick app launch buttons, so I can tie an app or a couple of apps to one of these buttons, simply hit a function button and it opens them up. I also have function buttons to get me through just the basic Android functionality. So if I go function F4, I get to my apps. If I go function F5, I get to my multitask. Function F6 takes me back to the previous app that I was in. I also have the ability to change the brightness of the display, change my volume, change the level of backlit to the keyboard, which is great just to have all of these different functions built right from within. So multitasking on a device like this is absolutely fantastic, because if I had something like, I don't know, let's just open two different apps. If I had Lightroom opened and I didn't want Lightroom full screen, I could bring it down. So let's just go ahead and drag that down and drag it over to the left, and then I can choose another app. So maybe I'll bring up my Google Photos app and have them side by side, and now I have side by side apps. I can also open another app on top of that, and so it's starting to really feel like a laptop in the sense that I can have multiple apps open, still have another app open on top of that, and if I really wanted to get crazy, could even open another app on top of that as well. And it feels a lot more like a laptop than the experience that I get on an iPad. I will definitely be showing more of that in my comparison video. So I like this. I like having apps open split screen like that and still being able to bring up an app from time to time. On tablets most of the time, or even on a smartphone, you would have to close those apps to bring up maybe your email or get away from them. And it's hard to see certain information from an app while you're wanting to respond in an email. Maybe you don't want to go split screen. DeX is giving me the possibilities there, which I think is really great. On the bottom right-hand corner, we have some quick tools here to do things like change our volume level. I can view all of my notifications here. I can take a screenshot just by tapping on that icon. I can view my Wi-Fi battery information, tap to view my calendar. DeX is very useful, and I find it to be a great implementation on a device like this. It makes this tablet actually useful for a person like me who wants a keyboard and wants the ability to adjust the screen and have it at different heights and whatnot. Let's just take the keyboard off and see what the experience is like without that. Well, if we take the keyboard off altogether, I can flatten this all the way out. You can see we get a software keyboard that pops up there when we need it. And now I have a nice tablet view. I'm going to go ahead and zoom this camera in just a bit more so you can see up closer. I can use this like a tablet now, and it has a little bit of a kick up off the back because of the kickstand on the back end here. As you can see, I have it folded all the way down, and if I go grab my S Pen, and then I have a nice device that drawing on this is much better experience with it kicked up a little bit. Yes, it's a little bouncy. As you can see, like when I tap on it, it bounces a little bit. It's not totally rigid, but it's still a great experience compared to not having it at all, and my tablet having to be flat on the surface altogether, which is how it is with most tablets. Most tablets are going to be completely flat, and that's it, and there's no kick, no adjustment at all. And so whether you're annotating documents or drawing or editing photos in something like Adobe Lightroom, being able to adjust the height here is a pretty neat feature. Not having to have the keyboard attached at all also makes it easier, because it's another thing that's not sticking out or protruding. I can set the keyboard aside and I can have this kickstand on the back, and I can set it up in an angle like so, you know, I'd say, I don't know, 45-degree or so angle, which is a great viewing angle for watching content on a device like this, or presenting information to people in a smaller area. I can then go down even lower to a full 45 or 90 degree and go beyond the 90-degree angle, and it's a nice experience overall. I think that it was great that they made this a two-piece unit. They could have very easily copied Apple, and that would have been the end of it, but they didn't do that. So let's get out of DeX Mode here. So I'm going to go ahead and exit DeX Mode, and we're going to go back to traditional Android. And so traditional Android is going to feel a lot more like a tablet with the Samsung experience, which is good. It's still really nice. I have my screen just really simplified here, an image that I captured in Glacier National Park as my background. I can swipe down, I've got my notifications, I can multitask just like normal, I can swipe up to get to my apps. Very easy, very nice. I like it. So the cameras on this device are also really nice. I find these to be some of the best cameras I've ever seen on a tablet. Now, the rear-facing cameras, of course, there are two of them, including a flash, and that's great. I don't usually use the rear-facing cameras on tablets that often, but they're there, and they're better than most cameras that are available on tablets. Where I found this to be really impressive is actually on the front-facing cameras. And so if I go into a video mode and I switch around to the front-facing camera, I'm going to go ahead and hit record here and just record myself. There are two cameras on the front here. I have the standard view camera, which is what I'm looking into now, and then I can switch to a wider angle view camera, which gives me a wide angle view as well. And these are two separate cameras, not just a cropping effect. And what's nice about that is that it gives me the ability to do more with the cameras. We do a lot of meetings these days. We are in Zoom calls, Microsoft Teams, all of that stuff. I have a standing call once a week with a client on Microsoft Teams, and so I like using this device because the camera quality is just superior to other devices that I have that are tablets. So overall, I'm just really enjoying this device for the first time, enjoying an Android tablet, whereas in the past it has not been that enjoyable of an experience. Now, Samsung makes this tablet in a few different sizes, this being the largest of them. I think that if you are going to utilize it with a keyboard and utilize it in that way, where maybe it might be a laptop at times for you, you definitely need the 14-inch, the bigger display, because you need that real estate really to multitask and have multiple windows open and all of that stuff. If you're looking for something that's more mobile, then of course you can go with one of the smaller devices, and there's keyboard cases and stuff for those as well. But for me, when I saw how DeX worked on this device, I thought, you know, this is a true replacement for a laptop in a tablet form that gives me what I like about Android and gives me what I like about having a laptop with me. Most of the time, I don't need high-powered laptops. I just need something with a good keyboard. I need something with a trackpad so that I can get through and maneuver my way through apps and stuff like that much better. And this device gives me that. So it's sitting out like this right now. I can easily just close that and then fold the little flap down. And now it is nice and thin and easy for me to move around. It has the little flap back here for the pen, and so all I have to do is just place my pen right on the back of the device and close that, and boom, it is safe and secure. And what I like about that is that it protects the pen and it keeps it from getting lost. And I could just fold this little flap back, and then I have access to my S Pen right there. It's also wirelessly charging, so it's going to stay charged the entire time as well. The only tricky thing that I have sometimes with this case is just getting it to align perfectly on the back. You can see there's a little bit of a seam here, and sometimes I'll have to just pop this off and realign it just to get it lined up, but that's not a problem that I face too often. It's more when I'm just kind of playing with it here on camera for all of you to see, and flipping the screen around so that you can see it. It's very thin. Up top here we've got our USB Type-C, which this is actually on the side. We've got speakers on both the top and the bottom, and those are on both sides of the device. And so the speakers are on both sides, and then we also have a SIM card slot right here, and that SIM card slot will allow for LTE 5G connectivity so that you can have your own cellular plan on your tablet, meaning that you don't need anything other than just to be within cell range for this device to connect to the internet and work. So yes, this is a bit of an expensive package, but for what you're getting, I feel like it is more than what a lot of the others are offering. What Samsung has done is they've said, you know, you want Android, you want a tablet, and you want a laptop experience. We've given you a laptop experience while still having Android, being able to use Android apps, being able to use them split screen. You know, Android hasn't done the best job at keeping up with their tablet platform, but Samsung has done a good job at making it usable in a laptop and tablet type of format, which I think they've done a great job. So I've got links to everything down in the description below. If you have any questions at all, feel free to ask down in the comment section, and click that like button if you found this video useful. I think this is probably one of the best devices that Samsung has produced in a while that has the functionality for me to utilize it in my everyday life without sacrificing in one way or another, which is often what happens when you choose a device like a tablet. There's a sacrifice somewhere. There are not many sacrifices with a device like this. So let me know what you think in the comment section. If you're going to pick one up, use the links in the description. It helps support the channel. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here, and I hope to see you back in another video soon. Take care.